Good morning to you all learners. I am Professor S. Kripanidhi, heading the Department of Biotechnology. And now I am presenting a topic to you all about the active and passive immunization. So it is a topic to you in your syllabus. So let us know about the immunization. Immunization is nothing but vaccination. Okay, so vaccination is not a drug. It is a biological material. So through this vaccination, there is the prevention of the occurrence of the disease. So that's what the government has taken up lot of steps for polio eradication. See, the people who are living in a country like India, if they are all suffering with some illness, how does our Indian national economy grow? So like that, the government has taken up all steps so that our Indian citizens are safe and they are free from epidemic diseases. So like that, there are vaccine for polio, vaccine for hepatitis B, vaccine for tuberculosis. Okay, so like that, varieties of vaccines for pertussis, for tetanus, and all those things, even for influenza, and now COVID-19 vaccine has come up. So it is a national prestige. It is a national prestige to launch these types of the vaccinations. So that's what our Indian government has given emergency authorization to a few of the stalwart companies to start the production of the COVID-19 vaccine. As a result, now our India is now producing Covaxin by Bharat Biotech and Covishield from Serum Institute of India from Pune. Okay, so like this, the vaccination is nothing but immunization. Okay, it's not only for humans the immunization is being done, even for cattle, even for small ruminants like goats, even for those animals which are living in, which are kept in the zoo parks, and also those of the animals which we are maintaining as pet animals like dogs, the vaccination is being given. Okay, so vaccination is a procedure that came into being from Edward Jenner and Louis Pasteur. Somewhere in the late 1700s, they devised this process. Since then, the epidemics, pandemics are totally reduced. Now and then, unfortunately, 1918, Spanish flu has come that devastated lot of people on earth. Now, COVID-19 has come. This also devastated several families. Okay, so to avoid all these things, to work for the nation, to work for the cause for which we came onto the earth, the vaccination is very much essential. So now let us see in this particular thing, along with the vaccination, what is active, what is passive vaccinations. Okay. So now this is the video. Just watch this video.
For Mary Beth and Barclay Toole, life is non-stop with 4 kids.
We've got gymnastics, we've got diving, we've got basketball. Somewhere in there, there's homework.
To help stay healthy, they exercise, eat right, and get enough sleep because, let's face it,
Nobody has time to be sick if you're a mom.
or a dad.
We need to take care of ourselves.
So they both also need to get vaccinated.
When's the last time you got vaccinated?
So I know I'm supposed to get the flu vaccination, but are there other vaccines that I need to be getting as an adult?
Yeah, vaccines aren't just for children. Adults need vaccines as well. Some vaccines don't give you lifelong protection. And as adults get older, they may be at higher risk of diseases because of their age, their job, travel, or their health conditions.
What vaccines do healthy adults need besides the annual flu shot? First off, if you didn't get the whooping cough vaccine, called Tdap, as a preteen or teen, you're due for it now.
Whooping cough is a bacterial infection, and in babies, it can make it hard for them to breathe and can be life-threatening.
Well, I work in a preschool and I'm around young children all the time. And if they were to come down with whooping cough or something that I could have been vaccinated against and prevented, I would have felt horrible.
So Mary Beth is here for that whooping cough vaccine, which also contains the needed 10-year booster for tetanus and diphtheria.
These may seem like illnesses from the past, but they are serious diseases that still affect us today. Immunization is your best protection, and severe side effects from vaccines are very rare.
In your 60s, you'll need vaccines to help prevent against pneumonia as well as shingles.
So I had a friend at work that got shingles, and she said it was extremely painful.
Do not get in my seat.
Next stop for the tools, Barkley's Frisbee match.
As I got older, I learned that I'm not the invincible 23-year-old that I thought I would be forever. So it's important to look after my health.
Mommy, what's this Band-Aid on you?
Do you remember going to the doctor and getting a shot?
Yeah.
Hey, mommies and daddies have to go get their vaccinations too. And then I can stay healthy to take care of you.
Okay.
I love you very much.
Find out what vaccines you need by taking the adult vaccine quiz at cdc.gov/vaccines/adult quiz and discuss the results with your healthcare professional.
See here, this video explains about the CDC. That is, it is one of the biggest organizations in all over the world, which is present in America. That is Center for Disease Control, which is present in Atlanta in USA. And wherever the disease outbreak comes all over the world, the people from, the scientists from, the technicians from CDC go and launch there and see that they collect the sample, analyze in no time, and assess what is it. Is it a virus? Is it a bacteria? Is it related to already existing virus? That's what now COVID-19 has come. It is not something new. It has got its own relatives like MERS, M-E-R-S, that is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. There is SARS, that is Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, to which this COVID-19 virus is related. So like this, they develop the phylogeny. They develop the what is it called, relationship among these organisms, so that the treatment modalities will be focused. Okay, so that's what the CDC, Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, they do. So that's what the video we have been seeing. Let us see the objectives of this presentation. Okay, so here to define the vaccination process, how the vaccination is being done, what is vaccination. Then the second one is to acquaint with the routes of vaccination. Where is the vaccination is given? Okay, so is it through the nasal? Now Bharat Biotech is coming up with a new type of the vaccine. Instead of giving injection, nasal spray for the COVID-19. Okay, so several of the companies are coming with the nasal spray of the vaccine. And then to familiar with the types of prevailing vaccines. So what is, because you are in the second year, you are fortunate at Vignan University that you are studying about all these things at this low level, at this early level. Okay, none of the universities, this type of exposure is there. You are fortunate for having been at Vignan. Okay, so to know the frequency of vaccination, is it monthly ones, is it yearly ones, like that. Hepatitis B vaccine is very much essential so that the liver cirrhosis, liver cancers will be avoided. So monthly ones, that is 3 months consecutively if we take the vaccine, and again booster vaccine after 1 year, after 5 years, then in lifetime we'll never get the hepatitis B infection. Our liver is safe. Like that, there is hepatitis C that has been investigated recently by the Nobel Prize in 2020. Okay, there are 3 stalwarts. So they are called Harvey Alter from NIH, National Institute of Health, Maryland, and there is another person by name, this Rice, Charles M. Rice, from the University of the Rockefeller University from USA. The other person from the Canada, the University of Alberta, he is from Michael Houghton. These 3 people identified the, what is it called, hepatitis C virus. Okay, so diagnose the hepatitis C virus. So now we are talking earlier hepatitis B, now we are speaking of the hepatitis C. Are they not related? No, both of them are different. Hepatitis B is DNA based virus, hepatitis C is RNA based virus. So like that, still for hepatitis C virus, the vaccine has to come. Both these viruses cause liver damage. That's what the prevention of those things. We have to take vaccine. So that's what in Hyderabad, I also told you, there is an institution called Asian Gastroenterology. It's full of those problems who are suffering with the liver cancer and liver cirrhosis, jaundice and all those things. Okay, we'll see those. Now, expected outcome. After having gone through this topic, what is that as a student, as a learner will be knowing? See, vaccination process will be understood. That's one. The second one is various routes of vaccination will be known, like intradermal and intraperitoneous and this nasal, like oral, intramuscular, several things, intravenous, several routes are there, will be letting you know. And currently used vaccines in the market will be known. So what are the vaccines that are available? A few, at least let us know a few. Then familiarize with the frequency of vaccination. Vaccine, if you take, by mistake, if you take one time vaccine, it has to be repeated. If by chance, if it is not repeated, vaccine may not record a memory. So that's what, whenever you study for the examination, first time you study, second time study, there later memorize, later discuss with the people. Ultimately, the subject is very well recorded in your brain. That's what the memory. So for which it is better to have the frequencies. That's what primary dose, secondary dose, tertiary dose, like this. Okay. Now, let us see the definition of the immunization. Immunization and vaccination both go together. Both go together. Okay. So, immunization is a term, okay, that is defined as the procedure by which the body is prepared to fight against specific diseases. That's what I've been telling to you. COVID-19, the vaccine has come. Covaxin. Okay, so why Covaxin? You can take paracetamol tablet, you can take some other hydroxyquinone tablet, some other tablet. Okay, so if you take the vaccine, never in the lifetime one can get this type of the disease called, even if there is prevailing coronavirus here, we will not get the disease because we are already vaccinated. That means we have maintained, our cells are maintained the record of the coronavirus. By chance if we get infected means our cells are ready to fight. That's what he says, fight against a specific disease, COVID-19 disease for example. So immunization is of two types as the topic heading goes. That is what, passive immunization and active immunization. So this is what the problem with most of the urban people. In villages where the child is being brought, small children are being brought, they are moving in the soil, in the mud, along with the cows, along with the, what is it called, crow and birds and all those things. As a result, passively they get immunized. There is no need of vaccination. Passively they get immunized. So in future if they get any infection, that passive immunization protects them. But in all the urban people, metro people, what do is, they live in a house which is highly clean, with all tiled floors, where there is no question of passive immunization being given. Okay, so as a result of this, they are free from these pathogens. So whenever the pathogen comes, these people get infected. That's for which active immunization like vaccination is required. Okay. Now, let us go through the passive immunization. Even the people who are suffering from COVID-19, doctors used to take the serum from the relapsed persons. That serum is given. This is also sort of a passive immunization. That's what passive immunization or immunity is produced without challenging the immune system. Without challenge. That is, if an infection comes, means our body is facing the challenge to fight the infection. Okay, passive immunization is passively we get exposed and passively we record the memory of the pathogen. Okay, so here it is done by the administration of the serum or globulins, gamma globulins from a person who is already immunized. That is, if a COVID-19 that is patient who recovered from the disease, his serum is contained full titer of immunoglobulins. And if his serum is taken about 10 or 20 ml and it is given to the other person who is suffering from the COVID-19, that's what called the passive immunization. Because I am not having what is it called immunoglobulins. The immunoglobulins from the other person who already got exposed to this type of the virus, if it is given to me, that comes under the passive immunization. Okay, that means a good example of this is this COVID-19 treatment that is being given now, and here to a non-immune person. And again, passive immunization is acquired either by naturally or artificially. Naturally acquiring means while you are dwelling in the nature, okay, passively you may get a sort of mild infections. So those mild infections causes a sort of an immunization. Okay, so now passive natural immunization. Natural immunization is, so here you see passive natural immunization goes with the mother. As long as the fetus is there, fetus is being in the womb, fetus is being protected by mother. If the fetus is born, the infant is being protected by mother's milk. So that's why mother's milk carries this, what is it called, the immunoglobulins. So with that, the child is being protected. Apart from that, we are giving vaccination that's called artificial vaccination. Whenever we give the injection, it's not that we are making him to get infected. We are making him to get the memory recorded through this injection. I will let you know those details. Okay. Passive artificial immunization. So here, that's what it is developed by injecting previously prepared antibodies. Where is antibodies prepared? If another person is suffering from COVID-19, he develops, once he is relapsed, once he is recovered, he will be having in his body the antibodies. So those antibodies from the serum are being used for treatment. So that's what called COVID-19 and other acute infections like measles and tetanus, it is being done. That's what passive artificial immunization. That means, artificially means we are clinically giving the treatment. Okay, it's not that we are inducing. That is, body is having its own capacity to induce. So that's what for immediate treatment, the passive immunization is being used. That's what the plasma therapy that was spoken at high level in the past 2009, 2020 in the medical domain. Okay, this second one is active immunization. Active immunization is nothing but we are giving injection. Okay, so here body develops resistance against the disease by producing antibodies following the exposure to antigens. What are these antigens? So we should get to know what the antigens. See, what is happening is, so let us say this is the virus. This is the virus. Let us presume this is the virus or bacteria. Okay, so this bacteria, virus are having some sort of antigen. So they are the antigens. Okay, so these antigens are having some antigenic determinant sites called epitopes. Epitopes. So these epitopes are called ADS, antigenic determinant sites. So that's what here. So this antigen means is a foreign protein. The viral proteins are foreign proteins to human beings. Viral proteins are foreign proteins to cattle. Viral proteins are foreign proteins to the pet animals. Okay, so whenever foreign protein comes, our system doesn't keep quiet. It fights. So that's what here, it develops resistance against the disease by producing antibodies following the exposure to antigens. Okay, so virus contain antigens, bacteria contain antigens. Those antigens are the landmarks. Those antigens are the landmarks. That is, landmarks by which our system called macrophages, MSC molecules, and I will let you know what are MSCs, T cells, B cells will recognize, and ultimately they will be eliminated from the system. Now, active natural immunization. Okay, so naturally acquired active immunity involves activation of the immune system in the body. It is achieved by both clinical means and also subclinical infections. That is, once you get infection, okay, once a fellow gets chicken pox, okay, once a fellow gets chicken pox, okay, never in the lifetime he will get the chicken pox. That means, why? Second time, third time chicken pox will not be repeated. Why? Because chicken pox, what is that called? The infection, the clinical infection, it makes the system to develop memory. it makes the system to record memory. Okay, so where is this memory located? Is it in the brain? Is it in the medulla oblongata? Is it in the cerebral hemispheres? No. It is stored in the B cells. Okay, so again it is stored in the plasma cell. Okay, and again it is stored in the B memory cells. Okay, B memory cells. It is stored in that. So like that, there is a stock of B memory cells. It is not that we are getting infected with one virus in our lifetime. We get infected with the measles, we get infected with the dengue virus, we get infected with chikungunya, we can also get infected with the coronavirus, we can get infected with the influenza virus, we can get infected with SARS, we can get infected with Ebola virus. Several things are there. For each of that, our system is having potential to develop the memory, that is all called the B memory cell. B means bursa fabricius. Bone marrow cells are bursa fabricius. Okay, so that's what the infection is being resisted. Like that, active artificial immunization. So that is, active artificial immunization is a type of immunization that is achieved by administration of the vaccine. So whenever we take the vaccine means it's artificial. It's not naturally we are getting infected. Okay, so what does the vaccine contain? That also please get to know the details. Don't think that vaccine is something beyond our understanding. Vaccine is something beyond our understanding. There is vaccine. Vaccine is, let us say, we are having the virus. So let us say this is the virus. Okay, so virus is having envelope proteins. Okay, and virus is having the either DNA or RNA inside and all those things. Okay, so these envelope proteins, these are the envelope proteins. So these are the envelope proteins. Particularly if you take the COVID-19, it came into the literature. Well, it is what called the spike protein. Spike protein. This is what called the spike protein of the virus. Clear? So this spike protein is new to us. And at times I also remember there are viruses which infect the plants. There are viruses which infect the, insects. Okay. So those viruses are not causing harm to human beings. So this virus like coronavirus is causing infection with us. Then anybody can question, what is the uniqueness of the coronavirus? How is it cause infection to us? Why is it not cause infection to insects? Why does it not cause infection to the plants? Why only human beings? Okay, so that is the question we have to understand. So then only we can understand what is the vaccine. So now let us say the spike protein of the coronavirus. Clear? The spike protein is compatible to human angiotensin converting enzyme 2. There is angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptors are there in our system, in the lungs, in the intestinal, in the kidney, several other portions. There is angiotensin converting enzyme receptors are there. That means every cell is having receptors. Okay, so the cell is being communicated to other cells through the receptors. Because there is a ligand binding to the receptor, cell is getting activated so that it communicates the information to the next cell. It is a continuous process. While you are sleeping, while you are awake, it is a continuous process. That's what we are surviving now. If the cell doesn't function, we are no more living. Okay, so that's what here, our cells are having the receptor. This is what called a angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor. Okay, so the spike protein will fit into this. That's what the problem. That's what in the case of the human beings. If you take the insects, okay, insects are plants do not have ACE2. Plants do not have ACE2 receptors. Human beings are having ACE2 receptors. As a result, the spike protein will bind and see that the virus gets into endocytose, gets into the term that we use is endocytose. The spike protein, with the help of the spike protein, this coronavirus is endocytosed inside the cell. Then inside the cell, the virus is living. Outside the cell, virus is not living. Once it goes in, then it manifests. So that's what here, what is this called? The spike protein virus and all those things involved here. So that's what artificial immunization. So for which we have to take the vaccines. Vaccine is not something passively we are immunized. Through the vaccine we are getting immunized. So that's what called is artificial. Okay, next. Now, let us see. Now, after having gone through these details, let us see what is vaccine. Edward Jenner produced first live vaccine. He produced the vaccine from the smallpox. Okay, and also from the cowpox. Okay, nowadays vaccines are used to prevent many diseases. Now the biotechnology today is in full swing. Biotechnology professionals are required. Bioinformatics professionals are required only to meet the requirements to prevent the diseases among the human beings. Okay, so it is not one dose. What is the human population in India? There are 130 crores. 130 crores of the people. Okay, for 130 crores of the people, COVID-19 vaccine has to be given. Okay, it is not one time, it is two times. So many samples have to be made. That means nearly 260 crore samples need to be made. One company like Bharat Biotech is not sufficient. They do not have that much. Even Serum Institute of India cannot make. So again they are taking Galamia and other companies so that all people in India are vaccinated. Okay, so that involves a lot of expenditure also. Government is so liberal in making their people to get vaccinated. Okay, now there are vaccines for measles, mumps, poliomyelitis, and there are vaccines for smallpox, tuberculosis, now smallpox. See, this one thing we have to remember. This is what we have to remember, please. Smallpox is totally eradicated. No one finds the smallpox on the globe earth. Okay, due to the vaccination, smallpox is eradicated. Okay, so like that, government wants this COVID-19 vaccine, if it is released, there is no COVID-19 hereafter. So that people will not be suffering. All families live hale and healthy. Okay, so that's what here, rubella, yellow fever, rabies, typhoid, influenza, hepatitis, COVID-19. See here, there is no malaria. Still for the malaria, the vaccine has to come. Okay, and not only malaria, now for several of the malaria, there is no vaccine so far. Okay, so there is no vaccine for a few of the cancers also. Even now, plenty of scientists are working to provide antigens or vaccine for the cancers also. Okay, so it is just ongoing. It is ongoing process of designing vaccine. Nowadays, through bioinformatic tools, we can design the vaccine so that vaccine production time will get reduced. So, the process of administration of the vaccine is referred to as vaccination. Okay. Now, let us see the table wherein varieties of the vaccine types. Okay, live attenuated vaccine. Okay, live that is killed inactivated vaccine. Remember. Now, Bharat Biotech. Please remember, Bharat Biotech has come the Covaxin with inactivated strain. Okay, so like that, there is another company in China, Sinovac Biotech, that also has come with inactivated type of the virus. Okay, so that's what this is the version they have taken up. And now toxoid vaccine is there, then subunit and conjugate vaccines are also there. Subunit vaccination one of the best one that is available now, that's what called recombinant antigen. Okay, the recombinant antigen is hepatitis B surface antigen. That is recombinant. So now let us see the example. Live attenuated are being used for measles, mumps, rubella, and again varicella and influenza rotavirus. And now inactivated kill is being used for polio and hepatitis B, hepatitis A. Now this inactivated example, if at all, if it comes to you, you mention here, even for COVID-19, it is a latest one. You make a note in your notes, COVID-19 is also given by inactivated vaccine. Now toxoid, diphtheria, tetanus, and again subunit vaccine. Hepatitis B, I was mentioning to you, hepatitis B is through the subunit vaccine, and pertussis, pneumococcal, meningococcal, and all those things. Okay. Routes of administration, how the vaccine is given, several routes over the time it has been improved. At the time of the Edward Jenner, he just scraped on the skin of the smallpox, so that the person who was suffering that time Phillips, he did not get the smallpox infection because already what is it called, cowpox was there with him. Cowpox protected him from smallpox. Okay, now, so deep subcutaneous or intramuscular routes, most of the vaccines are given intramuscular and deep subcutaneous. Then oral route, like oral BCG vaccine also, and intradermal route, BCG vaccine is given. BCG vaccine is mostly given intradermal, and then scarification, that is on the top of the skin. Okay, so like that, even if it is scared, it gets percolated into the skin. That is smallpox vaccine. And intranasal, nowadays, the intranasal vaccine, even Bharat Biotech is coming with intranasal vaccine for COVID-19. For COVID-19, they developed what is it called, Covaxin, that is injectionable type like intradermal or intramuscular, but it is intranasal spray. So that is another advantage. Then influenza vaccine. Now scheme of immunization, that is primary vaccination, as I was mentioning to you, one time taking the vaccine, we cannot record the memory of the pathogen. We have to do second time, we have to do tertiary time, we have to do the multiple times. So that's what here, particularly hepatitis B vaccine, first time, second time, third time in a gap of 1 month, later after 1 year, left after 5 years, so that our immune system is made alert, record is done well, so that in future we may not get infected. So like the primary vaccination, one dose vaccines, BCG, measles, mumps, rubella, yellow fever. The second, multiple dose vaccines, polio, DPT, hepatitis B. That's what whenever the government takes this polio vaccination, it is not one time, every time they announce polio vaccination somewhere by keeping in the public places, they are vaccinating the kids. And booster vaccination, to maintain immunity level after it declines, after some time has elapsed, that is diphtheria, tetanus, and MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella. So now periods maintain immunity due to vaccine. So if you take now the Covaxin, how long does it maintain? That's what they worked out. And one vaccine, second vaccine, 2 times if it is taken, it will maintain throughout our life. Let us see here. Cholera vaccine for short periods. Short periods, if it maintains, means we have to repeatedly take the vaccine yearly once. That's what in America, all the employees who are there, they are bound to take influenza vaccine yearly once. Once you come to the office, you can't sneeze, you can't cough. Such type of things are not promoted. So that's what yearly once the influenza virus vaccine has to be taken, because the strain of this keeps varying. So like this, if you take once in 2 years TAB vaccine, that is typhoid vaccine, 3 to 5 years DPT vaccine, 5 or more years BCG vaccine, and 10 years yellow fever vaccine. So it has been experimentally proved by scientists, so that the frequency of giving this type of the vaccine is shown here. Toxoids. Toxoid is a substance which is normally toxic. Normally it is toxic, but they process it so that it is not toxic by treating with certain formalin, all those things. That is given as vaccine. Once it is given toxin, treated toxin is vaccine, that's called the toxoid. Okay, toxide consists of weakened components of the toxins, so that is mild. It is mild. It only promotes the production of the antibodies, production of the B cells, production of the B memory cells. It doesn't cause the disease. Okay, toxides are used for the development of immunity against diseases like diphtheria, tetanus, and cholera. Now, let us see the summary. After having gone through this, let us see the summary. Vaccination process we have gone through here in this particular unit, and routes of vaccinations were understood. A few prevailing vaccines in the market I made a note of here. We are familiarized with the frequency of vaccination. So these are all the things with what we have seen here. Next one is define vaccination, describe the routes of vaccination and frequency of vaccination. So you may be in a position to write the answer, practice it at home. Okay, we acknowledge online resources, public domains for the use of the contents in the present teaching material. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.